Hi everyone, welcome. This member only video is going to be using two fonts from the April 2021 font collection release, and it is a cute project. You've probably seen them. They're a really hot trend right now. We are going to be using wood rounds to create a wood burn birth announcement, and I'm going to show you how you can use your Cricut to achieve an absolutely perfect end result. And we're going to be using a scorch marker or a scorch pen. I've got all of this linked for you, as well as a heat gun, some scrap vinyl, paper masking transfer tape, and then your Air 2 maker, or you can also use a Joy since you're just going to be cutting out some vinyl. As long as it fits in your, like if you're using like a 4-inch circle, you could definitely use your Joy. I'm using a 6-inch circle. You cannot cut out what I'm doing with your Joy. But let's get this started. We'll jump over in Design Space and I'll show you the two fonts that I'm going to be using for this project. They pair really well together. And then I want to show you a fun little trick. Some of you may not know about some of our fonts. And I'm going to add it to the design. It'll be really cute. I'm going to be using the fonts Improvement and Application today. Improvement is our kind of bold, simple font here, and Application is our script font. And you can see there's a little bit of an embellishment here that is called a special character or glyph, and I'm going to show you how to add those. Not all texts or fonts have those, but some of them do. Let's look right here. I am using a Mac, so I can look at font books. The default view for a font here is like this, but you can come up to the top where it has this little icon, click it, and then you can see all the special characters that are available in that font. So there may be different uppercase variations. There may be some with the special characters over them. And then occasionally you'll get a nugget of font gold and get these fun little characters. And I'm going to be using one of those in it. Also, a lot of times when you're using a script font, if you have like two T's next to each other or two L's or something like that, then the letters can run together very oddly. And so they give you variations of those. And then some letters that sometimes just look a little bit odd together. You may have those variations as well. So I'm going to show you that in just a second. It's very easy to use those. But let's grab a basic shape really quickly. The wood round that I'm using today is 6 inches, so I'm just going to grab a circle and I'll size it to 6 inches up here in the top, just like this. And then I'm going to go ahead and change the color of it so it's easier to see my font or text on top of it. Then I'm just going to grab a text box and then I'm going to type in Samuel, all in uppercase. And then, let's see here, we'll change that font up here at the top to Improvement. So we can search, you can type in all of the word or just part of it. That comes up here. And I really don't need to do much kerning or anything to this. I don't need to decrease the letter spacing. That's what kerning means necessarily to get the effect that I want. So I'll just kind of size it down, leave the letter spacing as is, and then I'm going to grab another text box and type in Beckett, and then I can change the font to Application. And we will need to do a couple things. One, I didn't take caps locks off, so I need to definitely add some lowercase in there. And because this is a script font, we need to kern. Do not neglect this step. It makes all of the difference in the world. You can see up here versus this, it just doesn't look right. That's not how you write cursive. So we need to decrease the spacing between all of these letters and make it look like one solid movement like you would write with an ink pen if you were writing. Now, sometimes just pressing that down arrow button for the letter spacing doesn't get you the exact spacing that you want. For instance, if I continue to press this, then I'm still not touching here between the C and the K like I want to, but I'm overlapping between the E and the C. So sometimes that happens. And to rectify that, what you need to do is come up and press Ungroup and then manually place these letters. So I can just move these over like this. Just like this. And then you can see my T's are different. So I did use special character T's. This one up here, since they're right next to each other, is a separate one. So let's go over into our font book and find our special T's that are next to each other. Okay, now that I've located it, I'm just gonna press Command C to copy, and then I can come back over into Design Space and edit this text box by deleting that V and the T, and then I'll press Command V for paste. So that's how you paste those special characters in. Now, if I want to do this one right here, I do it the exact same way. So I'll just locate it, decide which one I want. Let's see here. There's some really pretty squiggly ones, but since this is for a boy, I think I'm going to do a little bit more neutral and less girly. So I'll just Command C to copy that one, grab another text box, copy and paste in it, just like that. You can see that comes over here, and I will just increase the size a little bit and fit it right in here. That looks very cute. Then I actually want to move this over just a little bit. Sometimes you need to be a little bit nitpicky with those things. Move this down. That's looking good. So now I can select all of it and group it together, and then move it up here. Size it down until I just like the placement. Now, the trend right now is to overlap the script and regular font. So if you don't like that, don't do it. However, I think it looks kind of cute to do that. Since they are not the same fonts, you still have the distinction and it's not too difficult to read. Okay, now all I have left to do is grab another text box, and I'm going to type in date. Let's go ahead and change the font. We're going to be using Improvement again. And then we can type in date and then press enter, type in our next line. I'll do LB for pounds, OZ for ounce, and then time here. And then what I can do is move this down like this. We can size it just a little bit, and we can go ahead and decrease the spacing in those letters if we want to, just like that. And then ungroup and group each of these words or abbreviations individually. So I'll group that one, group this one, and then pounds, ounces, and time the same way. So just like this, and then that will make placing this a whole lot easier. Now we can just go ahead and pull it up here on our circle, kind of place these where we want them. And you can elect at this point, if you don't want to put that little line next to each thing that you fill in, you don't have to by any means. Okay, now that I have all of these placed, I can decide whether or not I want to put the lines so that you or whoever is using this can write on it, or you can just freehand without the line. So to put the line, it's really easy. I'm just going to grab a basic shape, a square, and then we're going to make it really thin, like 0.061 inches, like that. And then we just need to make the width different. So I just unlocked that size lock ratio, and I'll make it, we'll start out at 3 inches because I'm not really sure what I need. Pull it over here, and then you can just increase that. So maybe 3.5, or that looks good. And then I will copy and paste this down here, and honestly, probably we'll make it a little bit smaller. Unlock that size lock ratio and maybe make it like 3.4 inches or 3.3. That looks good. And then I'll copy and paste again. Move this down here and then make it, let's see, 1.5 inches will probably be pretty good there. Oh, even smaller. Let's make it smaller. 1.1. And then let's move this over just a little bit. And then we can copy and paste this one right here. And then we can paste another one down here for the inches, and we might want to make it just a tiny bit bigger. So let's come up here. All of this is just playing around with sizing and what you like visually, or what your customer has asked for. So once you have all of that, then you are ready to go ahead and slice. So what I recommend doing, I'm going to delete this one because I want to use the one that I originally had. I like the placement and everything with it. But I'm going to ungroup it, and then I'm going to hide this layer for just a second. Okay, now I can select all of this, and I will press weld to weld it all together. Then I can unhide this, and now I can slice. So I'm making a stencil, so to speak, out of this, which is why I wanted our circle to be the exact same size as the wood round that I'm going to be using. So before I slice, the reason that I welded all of that together before I slice is because you can only slice with 2 layers at a time. And since there were so many layers from that font, I would have had to do a lot of slicing and deleting yielded slice results that I don't need. But now I only have 1 layer to do that with, and it will expedite this process. So I'm going to select both layers and then go to the bottom right where it says slice, press slice, and then I'm going to delete the slice results I don't need. So now you can see we have our template here exactly like we want it, and now I can click make it, and I don't have to mirror it because I'm just using regular vinyl. I can press continue, connect to my machine, and now I will select premium vinyl as my material setting. I'm going to load my mat in the top left hand corner with my vinyl, and I'll let the machine cut out. Okay, now we're just gonna go ahead and weed this. So burnish before you weed. There are little bitty pieces, so if you have a pen tool, you probably want to grab that. But go ahead and start weeding, and then I would recommend grabbing your True Control knife and cutting off the extra so that you can use this for vinyl scraps later. Okay, now that I have this weeded, I put my transfer tape on, I've burnished, and then I trimmed around here so that it will fit properly on my wood blank. So we'll open the wood blank and then transfer this over onto the wood blank. Okay, now that we have it transferred over, we're just going to grab our scorch marker, and if you haven't used it before, you need to prime it. So just grab something like this and start pushing down until the paint, for lack of a better word, comes out of it, and then you can just go ahead and start applying on here. There also is a brush side, so you can brush it on if you want. I think this side is going to be good. So we will just, don't put too much, because you don't want it to seep underneath and you don't want to waste it. So just go through and kind of like you're writing, just fill in where the stencil has been weeded out. Okay, once you're finished, go ahead, give it some good dry time, and then remove your stencil, and you can see where you have colored. That's perfect. If you can freehand this, kudos to you. I love that. But go ahead and remove the full stencil, and then we will grab our heat gun and apply heat to it. Okay, now that I have the stencil removed, I'm just going to go ahead and grab my heat gun and apply heat. Now you want to keep this moving. The longer that you put heat on it, the darker it will be. So just watch it really good. Make sure it's even everywhere, and then stop when you have the result you like. Okay, now that this is finished, I've decided I want to go in and put some stain on it. So I'm going to use the Varathane Flagstone stain. I have a little staining rag here. We'll just go ahead and put it right on top. You can stick it right on over top of where it was burned, where we use the scorch pen or marker. So just apply a good coat, and then use a dry part of the stain rag to get off the excess. All right, there we go. You can see how quick and easy that was. And like I said, this is a super hot trend right now. So if you are interested in selling these, then you can make lots of money doing that. Since it is a quick and easy and inexpensive thing to do, definitely take advantage of that. Also, these are super great ideas for baby shower gifts. If you have someone in your life who is getting ready to have a baby, this would be really cute. You could do this on one side, and then on the other side, just the name if you wanted to. Or you could do a series of these with like the month milestones. So like 1 month, 2 month, 3 month for them to use in photos with their baby in the first year. So that would be a really cute idea. But check out the supply list for all the supplies that we used in this project, and let me know if you have any questions or comments about how you can put your own project together. We'll see you here another day for another member-only video.